So Dr. Andrew Huberman is a neuroscientist, and he really gained his following around the time of COVID is when he started putting out videos. He really was taken aback by the amount of misinformation that was being just spread at that time, and he really just wanted to start letting people understand that you can still use anecdotal and also empirical evidence to do good things for your health. And you don't always have to go down this route of what modern medicine is telling you. There are other great things performance-wise that you can do that maybe don't have a lot of research, but taking anything you can empirical, squeezing what you can out of it, but then trying it on yourself is still something you can do and get outcomes with. And now, fast forward 5 years, he's probably still one of the #1 podcasts in the world. So
especially health space.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what a wealth of knowledge. If you haven't listened to a Huberman podcast yet, strap in. They're a good 2 to 3 hours each, but it goes by quick because that guy vomits excellence. It comes at you quick.
You could tell.
I think we had him for about an hour, and that was about 2 hours too short. Yes. He still was just vibing at the end. He couldn't get it all out.
Cut him off.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was fun to listen to. A few things that he mentioned. One for me was movement gives you more energy. And what he meant by that was we always think that we need to motivate ourselves to do things, to move, to get to where we want to do it. And he thinks, we always think that's supposed to just be in us. But he says it's the exact opposite. He goes, when we work out, when we exercise, that upregulates neurotransmitters and processes in our body to create alertness, to create focus, to create ATP drive and blood flow. Then you get that energy.
Yes.
And I think most people think they're just waiting and resting to get that energy so that they can work out. Yeah. You're not going to get there. Yeah. You're not going to get there. And that, for me, when he mentioned it, helped me. Now I'm going to break that down for patients. It helped me break that down because now that makes more sense to me.
I absolutely love that. And it speaks to a lot of stuff we've touched on in the past. I like the quote that he said, if your days can start now with immense pressure and end with immense peace, you're going to win.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Doc, you want to talk a little bit about what he means by that, like with the cold plunge, like all that stuff?
Yeah, it's like you almost have to build up your stress tolerance. And I think over time, when you get used to the pressure, when you get used to a lot of tasks, a lot of responsibilities, you're able to handle that much easier. It's much the same with going to the cold plunge, cold exposure. You're able to handle more stress throughout the day, whether it's cold or not. It just builds up your tolerance. Like early in my career, if I knew or would look at myself today, I would be like, oh my God, I don't know if I would ever want that with all these responsibilities, with all these things going on. But now when you get into it, you understand that, okay, you just handle one day at a time, one task at a time. And yes, there's going to be certain things, certain balls when you're juggling all these tasks that might drop. But at the end, if you give your fullest every single day with every single interaction, at the end of the day, if you are able to sleep, you're going to leave the world better than when you turned into. But it all starts with that immense pressure, probably on yourself. And then end of the day with peace of, you want to down-regulate so you're able to sleep better.
Yeah.
The more sleep you have, the better recovery process you're going to have so you can handle that immense pressure in the morning.
100%.
So,
that was beautiful.
like
that was beautiful.
Corey, is there any quotes or anything that you enjoyed from Huberman?
Man, I almost blacked out just being there. Just seeing him. Like, wow. It really did go quick. He was just spewing so much knowledge. Yeah, to talk about that, I hadn't thought about this point until now, actually. But starting with immense pressure and ending with immense peace, outside of just the physical, starting your day hard, exercise, the cold plunge, and then end with kind of peace, calming effect. I feel like even in life, communication, relationships, there's an immense pressure regardless of what it is, a hard conversation, a breakup, whatever. But if you can, communicate or get past that, then you'll find that immense peace. And I don't know, I just thought about that in terms of outside of health and fitness. We always put this pressure on ourselves and build up that stress when we have something hard to do or tasks that we have to get done that we're putting off. But then we do it, and we don't feel that anymore. We feel that weight off our shoulders. We feel that immense peace. I don't know.
Do the hard things.
Beautiful.
Do hard things often.
That's it.
Yep.
That's what Rogan always says. Pick something hard and do it. Stick to it. Do something hard. Everybody needs something tough to do.
The most successful are the ones that know how to do hard things often.
Yes.
And they are like, of course it's not enjoyable. Do you think I want to do these things? He goes, no, but I'm willing to do them, and that's why I'm ahead of everyone else.
Living in your comfort zone, you have to get out of that and breathe.
Yeah,
Push yourself.
I still can't believe how well he touched on so many different topics and then blended them together in terms of transitions from one topic to the next.
He's got a
incredible.
million hyperlinks in his brain.
Yeah,
He knows how to just
literally.
jump from one to the other like perfectly.
Yeah. He said, hey, I'm going to get to your question in a second, but I'm going to go to A, to C, to D, and then loop it back around to the initial question. I thought that was super interesting in a conversation point of view, you know, how he's able to do that. Me, I'd be like, what was your question again?
Yes.
You know, what did you say? What did you ask me?
There's a couple more that I'm gonna pull together because I think we can talk on all of it. But
Yes.
the first one, neuroplasticity is possible at any age if you're an active learner, and also learning is about anti-forgetting.
Yeah.
Now,
I like
Doc,
that point,
I know this is something that you love studying and learning about, but what was something you took from either one or both of those?
I like that last point, anti-forgetting. So I think that comes down to whatever you learned, you want to try to remember, obviously not forget. So that goes back to the memory side of things. Now, when you look at memory, you want to then he touched on what's known as yoga nidra. So when you get into the first stages of sleep or any deep rest nap, you're able to upload the information, especially like through the amygdala, so you're able to recall it much easier, thus the forgetting aspect. So if you're gonna, and I know we've touched on this in many other times in other podcast episodes, but anytime you go into something you want to learn or remember, go through a hard bout, take some time of a nap afterwards, of down regulation, breathing, close your eyes, eliminate any stimuli you may have, then go back to either that same bout or go to different tasks roughly related to that subject.
Yep.
And you're able to recall it much easier. So I like the anti-forgetting. It's a different perspective, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And he talked about, again, some other ways to help with memory, recall, flashcards, repetitiveness. He also he brought up the best learners are the ones that know how to anti-forget the things that they're used to forgetting. He really brought up that there are things you can retain much easier than others. So focusing your time on the things you know you're going to forget harder, or you're having a tougher time remembering, those are the ones who win, because they don't sit and flip that 10,000th flashcard that they already know the answer to. He goes, they know that they remember it. They switch to what they've been forgetting, and they still just focus on that. And he goes, that's where you're going to retain that information. It makes a lot of sense.
I love
That's
that.
a great point. I love that.
Yes.
Was there anything, either one of those, Corey, that you took something from?
I think that really helps with school. I think going through my undergrad at ASU, I think it was very like finding that repetitiveness and studying stuff that maybe I didn't need to study. Luckily, I got to where I'm at now, and I'm going to Parker, but taking that into Parker, I think that will really help. Maybe not focus on what I already know as much and learn new stuff and focus my time and energy on stuff that I'm not quite sure of or need to practice more of.
I love that.
What was that technology that you shared with me that I was pissed at? that I was like, I wish I knew this.
I'm sure there's new software out now, but the one that I have is called Anki, and it's an AI flashcard software. And what it does is it feeds you, so you make the flashcards online, and it has trackable, we'll call it trackable metrics that you can give the flashcards when it presents an answer to you. So you're presented the question, you then, of course, like any flashcard thing, you press space bar or something and it flips and it gives you the answer. But then you have to tell it an honest answer. Did you get it right? Did you know the answer? Did you get it wrong? If you got it right, was it hard for you to remember? Did it take you a long time to remember it? Was it, you remembered it, but it took you maybe like a couple seconds, and then you just knew it right away. And how it does is it categorizes what it's going to do to you to help you retain that flashcard. So if you got it right like this, it'll probably push that flashcard out another week or so. It's, you know what, you already have it retained. We don't need to hit that neural circuit anymore. If it took you a few seconds, it's going to push it out maybe 30 minutes, and it's going to give it to you again. If it was really hard, it's going to give it to you in 5 minutes. Okay? If you got it wrong, it's going to give it to you in 30 seconds. And then it'll just keep building that neural circuit, because for some reason, you hit that flashcard and you didn't remember, That neural circuit hasn't even started yet. Flashcard in 30 seconds. You got to start somewhere. But then as you continue to get better at it, it'll push it farther and farther out. And then just like Huberman said, the winners are the ones who just focus on what they're not remembering. And that's what it does for you. It just gives you continually the flashcards you keep getting wrong or having a tougher time with. That's where you're going to win.
Yeah.
And my retention it improved immensely. Yeah. When I'm
God
sure
dang you.
I'm sure that was in I was in school over
Yeah,
5
same.
years ago. So I would hope that there's different software out there, but that one alone, it was great. The last one I wanted to bring up, just because I love it, and I know Doc, you love it too, is physiological sighs are the fastest way to calm the nervous system.
Yes.
Basically, we've talked about this now, gosh, 5+ times at least on podcasts, but double inhale through the nose, long exhale through the mouth is one of the quickest ways to improve your parasympathetic nervous system, the body's rest and digest state. It is he actually stated it was the fastest non-pharmacological way to reduce stress and anxiety. And
We see that.
if you hack your day every hour with a double inhale, exhale, you will be less stressed. You might have less anxiety, less stomach pain, who knows what. And he called it, these are ways to effectively manage your anxiety without drugs throughout the day. And he says you can do it. These things can hack your depression, your anxiety, your stress if you do it often enough. And it's 10 seconds. It really is. 100%. But I do it all day. I love it. And I feel that healthy individuals who have a really positive vagal tone, they probably feel it quicker. Unhealthier individuals, it might take 20 physiological sighs to finally downregulate. But stay with it. Keep trying. You will eventually feel that.
Yeah, especially if you're running, you get a side ache, do the double inhale, exhale, just a miscommunication. So that works really well there too. But
Nice.
Corey, have you heard of any stories in clinic or in your personal life that this has helped well? Because I know you've been exposed to this for a while, but.
Yeah, honestly, I did it subconsciously. To be honest, I really wasn't aware that it was hardwired into our brain. I can't remember exactly which part of the brain that it triggers, but we're actually hardwired to do those. Take big breaths throughout the day. You may find yourself sitting there. Dogs do it too. They'll go to their bed and they'll they do a big breath and a sigh. You may have noticed your dog doing that. We do it naturally as well.
To prepare for rest.
To prepare for rest. I've never realized that it was actually hardwired into us.
Imagine what 10 physiological sighs before bed might do to your sleep. Track that. See what that does for you.
Yes.
Yeah, more on Huberman. He's got millions of podcasts out there. I would highly recommend you check him out. Totally worth your time.